Hello, all. Hi, I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic diet and how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. I hope everyone can hear me. The last two times I've done this, there was a sound, but I think I figured out what that is. So hopefully everyone can hear me. Please give me a thumbs up, not on my channel, but just let me know you can hear me. Hey, Shell, how you doing, friend? Listen, today I just did this on Facebook, so you may not want to sit through this a second time. But I'm going to talk about 3 things that I just didn't mess with, didn't worry about since I started following the ketogenic protocol. For those of you who don't know, my dog Jack has just walked up, if you can hear the click, click, click of his nails. The ketogenic protocol is where one restricts carbohydrate intake to 20 grams or fewer a day, total carbs, not net carbs. Eat fatty sources of protein, don't eat if not hungry, and stop when satiated. That's it. I really took those instructions as I learned them to heart. And so there are a lot of things that are out in the ketosphere which may work for some folks. They might have worked for me had I implemented them, but I'm pretty happy with the way things have gone following this very simple and direct set of instructions. The first thing that I never thought about, never worried about, never calculated, never followed, never fretted over. I did this on Facebook as well. The M word. Can anyone tell me? Because I know some of you have already listened to my videos or heard something. Can you say what the M word is as far as I'm concerned? Hello from England. Hi. The M word. I never paid any attention to macros, so-called macro. Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Macros. Nothing wrong with if you want to structure your day around a pie chart that was artificially created. Fine. Let me tell you the problem with the pie chart. It's based on percentages. As far as I'm concerned, the problem with it, it's based on percentages. So through so-called, and macros is short for macronutrients. What's interesting to me is so many people are having their lives ruled not only by an app that will tell them how many macros to eat, but ruled by a word they didn't even know what it meant a year and a half ago. You know, it's funny. How did we get to this point in our lives without following macros? Do it if it works for you. But the problem with the macros, so-called macros, and following the pie chart and the percentages is that if you follow percentages and you follow those guidelines that say keep your carbohydrate intake to 5% of your total calorie intake, a percentage, 5% of 8,000 calories a day is a lot of calories from carbohydrate. So you can't go by the percentages. You know, say, oh, I'm going to do this, eat this, this, this. I'm just going to keep my carbs to 5%. No, but it's grams of carbohydrate that work. Hard number, 20 grams or fewer. Total, not net. Also, it's not part of the original protocol. Everyone needs to do what works for them. Not only do I have no say in it, I have no interest in what other people do. I'm really only interested in what works for me. Is that harsh? I don't know. But it's really all I'm interested in. Everyone's an adult. I'm assuming that's listening to my voice is an adult. Make your own decisions. The thing is, it's kind of an artificially imposed structure. Some people like structure. They thrive better on that. I'm better at kind of the simple. Carbs, 20 grams or fewer a day. Eat fatty sources of protein. And so because I never pay any attention to macronutrients or percentages thereof, I have no idea how many grams of protein or fat I consume or ever have consumed in a day. It was not part of the instruction because the instruction says 20 grams of carbohydrate a day total, not net, or fewer. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. That's not exactly how it was laid out. That's how I came to hear it. But it was pretty much that. Dr. Westman says if it's not on page 4, don't eat it. By the way, Dr. Westman has his updated, certified stamp of approval, actual page 4, because there are a lot of pirated versions of page 4 out there, but you can get the actual page 4. You can get it at my blog. You can get it. You can get it lots of places. So go to my blog and under resources, it's page 4. You can also get it, the one I followed, which is essentially that underneath. Dr. Westman would say his is a little different than mine. I would disagree. Anywho, so I never messed with it. As far as grams of protein, there are those that will kind of shout at you and say, you must get in the fat to burn the fat. No, that's not how that works. It's the absence of carbohydrate that starts you burning fat for fuel, not the presence of fat. Absence of carbohydrates, not presence of fat. Eat the fat that comes with the protein. What does that mean? Eat eggs with the yolks. Can you imagine anything more tasteless than an egg white only omelet? Just why crack the egg when all the nutrition is in the yolk? So eggs with the yolks, poultry with the skin. So if your poultry of choice is chicken, great. If it's a duck that you just hunted yourself fresh and plucked, great. Duck is very high in fat. Yay. So is goose. So poultry with the skin, beef with the fat. So steaks with the fat, ground beef, nice high percentage of fat in that. Pork chops, fatty pork chops. An eye of round for beef is very lean. I don't want that. I want a chuck roast. Streaky, entire rivers of fat going through it. Eat the fat that comes with the protein. This does not mean add fat, not oily coffee, not fat bombs, not pounding back dietary fat. Just eat the fat that comes with the protein. So if you do that, you go back and you somehow plugged it into something, guess what will happen? Your pie chart will look perfect. It just works that way. It's like hyper-focusing on making sure that the water in your swimming pool is perfectly level, and hyper-focusing on making sure that the water in your swimming pool, we don't have a swimming pool, making sure that it's absolutely level and flat. Guess what? Water does that on its own. You don't find water doing this. Water does this. If we eat the foods we were designed to eat, you follow the protocol, all the math, it does the math for you. No math involved. So I never paid any attention to that. I hope you're still with me. I just realized that my screen just entirely went blank. Okay, sorry. And thank you for all the comments. Please, I assume you guys are talking to each other because I'm just going to talk and then I'm going to look at the comments. So thank you very much. And I apologize. My screen went blank. So I don't know if I missed something big. Second thing that I never paid any attention to because it's not part of the protocol is I never paid any attention to how many calories I was eating. Not part of the protocol. How can that be? How can that be? Keep in mind, for one thing, I did not start this to lose weight. I'd given up on losing weight. I'd given up. You can see in my blog, my before photos. You can see my summer of the triathlon. photos, oh my gosh, where I tried to move more, eat less. I had tried all that stuff and I just gave up. I didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. That was my motivation. A happy byproduct was that I started losing weight. But part of the protocol did not say keep your calories to this if you're this high, this tall, this gender, this age. No, there was nothing about that. Again, I'm going to repeat. Carbs, 20 grams or fewer a day, total not net. Eat fatty sources of protein. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. Nothing about calories. So I just didn't calculate them. I could see how many calories I was eating based on what my fitness pal was telling me, because in the first few weeks, I did enter information into my fitness pal to learn what 20 grams of carbohydrate looks like. Really, I didn't even need to do that, because if you restrict your vegetables, and in truth, most carbs will come from vegetables in this protocol. Restrict your vegetables to about a cup or about the size of your fist a day, maximum, pre-cooked. And this is from Dr. Westman's white coat video. Check it out. About the size of your fist. That's about it. You don't even need to buy a measuring cup to be 100% successful at this protocol. Non-starchy vegetables before cooking, max, a day. And about the size of 2 fists or about 2 cups of leafy green vegetables, maximum, a day. That means you don't have to have any. Carbohydrate is not an essential macronutrient. That means we don't have to consume the carbohydrate to get what we would get from that, which is glucose, because our body can produce the glucose required for functioning without eating anything. We can't produce the amino acids from fat and protein without consuming it. I'm going to tell you, I know there are all these extended fasting things out there. If you like that, good on you. I will defer to the experts on this, Dr. Westman, Dr. Finney, etc. After about 24 hours, 36 hours, if you're not consuming some protein, your body will need to start coming after your lean mass in order to get the amino acids required. I'm not a researcher. I'm not a doctor. I just like to rely on those I trust. Anywho, if we don't eat when we're not hungry and we stop when we're satiated and we're eating fatty sources of protein, that takes care of the fuel requirements. I would like to not call them calories because that's a very emotionally charged word, but I cannot in good faith call them the C word because that is another emotionally charged thing. I call the macronutrients the N word. Can't do that with the calories. So I try to refer to it as, fuel. Yikes, something just went on in my backyard. Okay, we've got like 24 chickens in my backyard, way up at the top of the yard. And I'm waiting for the first egg. This is our second time at this. And any day now, I'm expecting an egg. Okay, squirrel. Okay, so if we just don't eat if we're not hungry and stop when we're satiated, it's self-regulating. We will consume the fuel or the calories that our body requires. Now, it can be a trick to learn what actual hunger feels like. It's not that brain signal that we got when we were sugar burners saying, get me a cookie, get me a muffin, get me some crackers. Because when we're burning sugar or glucose for fuel, we can't store it, so our brain needs it, so it says, get me some more. When we flip over to burning fat for fuel, our brain is perfectly happy for hours on end. The bit of glucose required for our brain function and the rest of our body function, our bodies can make it without any carbohydrate intake. So if we just listen to those cues, and around Go Keto with Casey, we've got a magnet, you can get it on my blog that says, are you here? It's a picture of a refrigerator. Are you here out of hunger or out of habit? And I had to learn not to eat out of habit. We are literally habituated to eating at certain times. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You must eat every 3 hours or you go into starvation mode, which I find offensive. I find it offensive on the behalf of people who are actually starving. Skipping breakfast, you're not going to go into starvation mode. That's just wrong. Don't eat breakfast if you're not hungry for it. And stop when you're satiated. A lot of that, some of the tools we've learned is slow down while we're eating. Give leptin, the satiety hormone, a chance to give the signal to the brain saying, dude, you've had enough. Stop eating. Shovel, 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 shovel. If it takes 10 minutes for leptin to tell the brain you've had enough and you've consumed an entire plate of fuel, huge one, in 8 minutes, that's not going to work. Slow down. It will take care of itself. I just said on Facebook, our bodies, the original app. Listen to your body. It's not always easy. And of course, our bodies, if we don't listen after a while, they start yelling at us. That's type 2 diabetes. That's psoriasis. That's irritable bowel syndrome. That's acid reflux. That's high blood pressure. That's Alzheimer's. Our body yelling at us because we didn't listen. Have you ever been in a relationship and you're saying something in a loud tone and the recipient of the loud tone says, why are you yelling at me? Is it because you didn't hear me the first 50 times I said this in a normal tone? That's our bodies talking to us, except it's type 2 diabetes. It's an amputated foot. It's dialysis. That sounds dramatic, but it's not dramatic. It's the way it is. Okay, third thing. And this may be the hardest for some people. The third thing I never worried about. If anyone saw me on Facebook, can you say the third thing? I won't draw this out. It's not a game. The third thing I never really worried about was what anybody else thought about what I was doing. I didn't care about the macros. I didn't care about the calories. And I certainly didn't care about what anyone else thought about what I was doing. I was at a point where I was so thrilled with the results. And I'm not talking about the weight. I'm talking about the fact that my chronic depression lifted almost immediately. This does not happen for everyone. I realized that mental health goes far beyond restricting carbohydrate intake. But I've heard from enough people who've said, I've come off of my anti-anxiety meds, my antidepressive meds. There are a couple of cases of people coming off of their antipsychotic medications by getting the diet right. But I'm going to tell you, my mood regulated, except for last night when I subjected my poor patrons. I had a meltdown last night. I'm not immune. I had a tough moment yesterday, and it had nothing to do with food. It had nothing to do with weight. It had to do with seeing photographs of myself. And it's very difficult for me to see my image, which is why I try to concentrate on looking at the camera and not looking at the monitor. So moving on from that, it doesn't fix everything. But things are so much better than they were. So I started this in my mid-50s at age 55. I'm 61. Before I started this, I thought every year would get worse. I would get heavier and in more physical pain, joints hurting. I would be in more emotional pain. Around Go Keto with Casey, we call it e-mental. It's emotional and it's mental. What's up, Jack? What's up? You need to go out? Can you wait? Best dog ever. You know what? I might need to go to checkout. Hold, please. Live TV. So I almost immediately started feeling better, mentally and physically. And I didn't give a crap what anyone else thought. I didn't care. The stink eye. Is that all you're eating? The snarky remarks. No, not from a lot of people. I'm going to tell you, most people are extremely happy. For me to be healthy and happy and emerge as the person I had suppressed for so long. I was hiding my light under a bushel of fat. But I didn't care. And we have to not care. Why does anyone care what we do or don't eat? It's pathological the way some people analyze and take inventory of our plate of food. Why do they care? You know, I'm not making judgments on, girl, you're going to eat that giant biscuit? Do you know what that's going to do to you? Not my business. I don't get a vote. I don't get a vote on what they eat. They don't get a vote on what I do or don't. I don't get a vote on what my children and their children eat. They haven't asked my opinion. I don't offer it. These are smart, intelligent people. They will make decisions based on what is right for them. Fortunately, all of our children and their spouses or friends and children are healthy and smart. Of course, they're healthy and smart, and they're very good looking. Just because I'm biased does not mean it ain't true. Don't let someone else dictate what you do, what's right for you. Are they going to go to the doctor with you? Are they going to take insulin for you? Are they going to be there when someone says you need to amputate your foot or you start losing toes? Are they going to wear that bathing suit for you on your vacation? Are they going to deal with depression? Are they going to deal with the acid reflux? No. If somebody's really focused on what you're eating, it really probably means that they're focused on that they think everyone else is focused on what they're eating. Oh, Casey, please eat the death by chocolate cake so that I can eat the death by chocolate cake and no one will think that I'm looking like a slob. I don't care if you eat death by chocolate, aptly named. Don't care what I eat. So the three things about which I never cared: macronutrient ratios, calorie counts. It's self-regulating if you do pay attention to only eating when hungry and stopping when satiated. Ultimately, your fuel intake matters. So if you're not hungry, don't eat. That will take care of that math. So macronutrients, calorie counting, and what anyone else thinks of what I'm doing. Don't care. Maybe I'm just mean. Maybe my give a darn is broken. Except I would not, if I was not on public forum here, I would not say darn. Maybe it's a function of advanced age. Don't know. Or maybe I was just so miserable before that I am not going to risk going back for anyone else, for anyone. If my lovely mate insisted, which he would never do, insisted that I join him in a basket of tortilla chips, I would say, honey, I love you. I mean it. I'm not eating the tortilla chips. Enjoy them yourself, which he doesn't. About 6 months after I started this, he started doing it. Never had a weight issue, really. He did it because he saw the difference in me, the way I felt, my energy. He heard the lectures I heard, and he does it to this day. He's frankly probably more of a proselytizer about it than I. So that's it. Do what works for you. Maybe hang on to all three of those things if that's who you are. There are many ways, many paths that will lead to the same destination. My destination, my path did not include macronutrients, calorie counting, or giving a darn about what anyone else thought about what I was doing. There are more things than that, but those are my top three. Okay, so I'm going to turn my attention to questions. Oops, sorry. And I apologize if I've missed really important things. I buy eggs from local farmers. Who needs bread? We have 24 chickens in our backyard. I have no idea. We had no intention of having 24 chickens. It's a really long story how we ended up with 24 chickens. Okay, John Godina, am I vegan? Is that a joke? No, I'm not a vegan. Someone please block Sharon. Who's Sharon? Someone needs blocking? I'll block. I'll scroll up. I'm not going to spend time looking for who Sharon is. You know, I should ask someone to be a moderator for this, so while I'm talking, they can do the blocking. While I'm talking, they can do the blocking. Oh, shut up, Sharon. Sharon went bye-bye. Good. Okay, I want to share this information so that people have the opportunity to try it. Okay, Mona, I don't know if this happened to us in World War I, bread addiction. Now, agriculture was introduced about 10,000 years ago. The thing is, we've been around for 70 million years. And it's really since World War II and processed foods, but really what happened was in the mid-60s, the late 50s, early 60s. That's when really everything declined with Ansel Keys and bad science and politics. Thank you. You will mod for me, but I have to. Okay. Okay. Been reported. Okay, let's go. I'm sorry. I don't want to spend any time doing this. People be silly. Hey, from Indiana, perhaps you need your... Maybe you need your brain improved. And maybe you have a tiny little penis, Daniel. That's a problem. Okay. Michelle writes, so inspiring, make me not want to... Don't give up. Don't give up. If I can do this, you can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. I don't have a way to show my before photos. And those were not my heaviest. I'm sure if they ever existed, I would have burned them. Hanan Rafari, I'm sorry. My opinion on so-called intermittent fasting, and I call it so-called because if you're eating during the day, you're not fasting. I mean, if you eat any time, Gandhi fasted. To me, fasting is depriving yourself of food when you're literally actually very hungry, and you do it through discipline for political, religious, spiritual, cultural reasons. More accurately, it's called time-restricted eating. I think it's, for me, it would be a gimmick. I'm not going to arbitrarily not eat if I'm hungry because it's outside of my so-called feeding window any more than I'm going to arbitrarily eat because it is inside my feeding window. I'm not hungry. So that's my opinion, but it works for some people. Some people swear by it. It's just my opinion. Do you eat only meat? No, I eat, we have asparagus, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, green beans, broccoli, cabbage, lettuce. I eat much less of it than my husband does because I eat less fuel than my husband does because one, he's a dude. Another, he's younger than I. Another, he has a very physically demanding job. His body composition is quite different. He's muscular. He gets on his bicycle and rides for 30 or 40 miles at a time. So I eat less fuel, I consume less fuel. Thereby, I always start with the fatty sources of protein first. And if I stop when I'm satiated, I just haven't gotten to the vegetables. I'm not a carnivore by definition, but I eat. Okay, excuse me. Now Jack would really like to come inside. Hold, please. He only does that because he knows I'm on camera. He never whines. Okay, I'm not, just don't want other people to be offended, Shell. So I'm not anti-vegetable. They are limited though. They're not a free food. We've been told by many protocols, unlimited vegetables or fruit, and fruit is not it. It's not at all. Berries, which are a little bit because they are lower on the glycemic index. So I made a smoothie for my husband. He rode his bike, and cyclists get smoothies around here. So with water, some homegrown frozen strawberries and homegrown frozen blueberries, but small handful of each, and a scoop of whey protein for him because he just worked all day, then jumped on his bike. I made a smoothie and he drank it. But fruit, no, we don't have to keep fruit. We don't eat fruit. Daniel only wishes. God, he only wishes. 11 weeks. Irini writes, 11 weeks on keto today. New low, minus 34 pounds. So happy. Needed to share. Congratulations. You're in Greece, correct, Irini? Fantastic. Is Vita here? Now, I do want to give a shout out. I'm going to spend 30 seconds. People get all verklempt when I say something that's talking about events or whatever because they think, oh my God, she's totally sold out. But not really. We've got some events coming up free. Some are free. Some are moderately priced. Some are a little bit higher priced. But here's what we've got. Tuesday, the 3rd of September. So this Tuesday, if you're in the Durham, North Carolina area, Dr. Eric Westman, the Durham support group meeting, I get to moderate those meetings with him free. There's a buffet if you want a carb-friendly, keto-friendly buffet if you want to. It's at the Durham Hilton near Duke, but you don't even have to get that. You can sit there and sip on water totally free. Ask Dr. Westman. He's really smart and says smart things, and I crack wise. I'm going to make sure that was not my kid or my kids or my husband. The next night, Amy Berger, the wonderful Amy Berger, and I are going to have a live stream just like this, but it'll be on Crowdcast. It's a registered event. I'm going to give you the link. She and I will both be on screen. Wednesdays are wine day. So she and I will be enjoying our particular adult beverages, she in her home, I and mine, me and mine, and you and yours. So there's the link. Sign up for it. And $5, she and I will split the proceeds after fees are taken up by the credit card company. And we're hoping to make a regular thing of this. We'll talk about wine and cheese and keto and life and make jokes. The second Monday of every month, I have a meetup in Greensboro, North Carolina at Wine Styles Tasting Station, free again. You can see that stuff on my Facebook page or my blog, I think. I don't think I put it on my blog. October 12th, Adapt Your Life event in Raleigh, North Carolina at the McKimmon Center. Do I have the link for that? I don't think I do. I mean, I have it, but I don't have it queued up. If you go to Adapt Your Life, it's there. Dr. Eric Westman, Jackie Everstein, Amy Berger, me, we'll be talking. A one-day event. I think it's $60 registration. A great opportunity. And then in January of 2020, there's going to be something in Beaufort, North Carolina. Details to follow. And there's the Go Keto with Casey Alaska cruise in July of 2020. We got about 90 plus people signed up. Eric Westman, Amy Berger, Jackie Everstein are all going to be there. We're going to have a good time. That's that. Thanks for the link. Thank you. Jeannie Fields writes, still on blood pressure pills, but half the dosage, kept 65 pounds off, 2 years on keto. Congratulations. Can I tell you that Dr. Westman says in his clinic at Duke University, blood pressure medications are often the last thing to go. I haven't heard him explain why, if he knows why. But he does say that blood pressure meds are the last thing to go. But congratulations on cutting them in half. That is great. That is fantastic. Love Amy Berger. Can't wait to listen to that chat. If you can't make it on Wednesday, it's 8:30 p.m., September 4th. You can see it in replay. You still have to register. So go to that link. Thank you. Thank you. How did you do that? Angela, did you block them? That's great. Thank you. Wish there were groups like yours in England. You know, my group is, for the most part, virtual. So I have my Patreon group. Thank you to patrons. I am going to give a plug to them. Several patrons are here right now. And this is where, super quick plug, where for $2 a month plus, you get I do about 20 videos a month for the $2 plus, the $2, and then you get a private forum. Then it goes up from there, about half dozen live streams a month, patron only, half dozen video group chats, and one-on-ones with me. It's a really supportive community. And can I tell you, I mean supportive. Last night, I lost it. I had a really bad night last night from seeing photographs of myself. I had a photographer come out and make some, because I needed some professionally made photographs. And I saw them and I lost it. And I, unfortunately, unburdened on some of my patrons, my $5 plus people. And I probably need to take that post down. But it's really supportive. None of us are great every day. None of us feel great every day. If I've ever given the impression that the sun is always shining on my backside every day, then I was wrong. Life is still life. Life is hard. The difference is I don't turn to food to deal with it anymore. I used to. I used to turn to food to not deal with it. You know, oh, I do want to say something. You know, we say we use food to cope. We use food to not cope. Here's one last thing, and then I'll then want 100% focus on questions if anyone has them. This is very self-serving, but I'm also excited about it. Starting tomorrow, September 1st, any new $10 plus patrons are going to get quarterly postcards from me. I just got delivery of these. Says I can, I will. I'm going to make a bunch of these. And I'm sorry. I have visions. And of course, existing $10 patrons, and we'll get them anyway. I'll write a note on each one, put them in envelopes, send them out. My vision is that people may have a little bulletin board, a mental health board, or tape them to their mirrors or their refrigerators or their kitchen cabinets, or carry them and shuffle through them. And just things to remember that we're all in this together and that it can be done. So it is self-serving. Patrons keep me going. If it weren't for the patrons, I'd have to go back to my former career, which I enjoyed and was very lucrative. But I want to do this. So anyway, I don't know if that reads in reverse or not. I can and I will. And it's also fun to kind of design these things. So if you go to Patreon, $10 plus, if you're an existing patron at lower than $10, bump up, you get them as well. Okay, commercial over. Excuse me. Alexa just did something. Okay. There was a little bit of a potty mouth word, but that's okay. Hey, Vicky, honey. Vicky from Southeast Washington. Cindy, just stick with the protocol. Weight loss is not the only benefit. Enjoy feeling better, and weight loss will follow. 40 pounds is great. If someone, I want to encourage anyone that says, I've only lost 40 pounds, or in Cindy's case, I've only lost 17 pounds. Would we ever, under any circumstances, say, I only put on 17 pounds? I only put on 40 pounds? No. We would be looking for a train. in front of which to jump. 40 pounds lost is great. Let's look at it this way. Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig only promise about 10 pounds. And then all bets are off. Thank you, Vicky, a patron. Okay, Shell, I'm going to show your comment, but I'm going to disagree with you. Veganism is a cult. Peasant starvation diet. No, there are vegans who are very conscientious. And I respect people who do something for philosophical reasons. I respect that. And if you want to know how to be successful on this protocol as a vegetarian for religious and cultural reasons, check out Jaydeep Bhutta, Jaydeep. Met him several times. Good guy. He's lost I don't know. Has he lost 80K? I don't know. He's lost a lot of weight. He's from India, and he does it as a vegetarian. Jaydeep Bhutta. Last name Buhta, I believe. Really great guy. Vita Moy. Hey, Vita, patron. I was a gradual loser until I wasn't. You're doing great. We don't say slow loser. We don't say plateau. We say I was a normal loser. The first year I lost 47 pounds. And I had a lot to lose. I'm 5'1". And I lost 97.4 pounds. I'm actually 115.5 pounds off of my heaviest. But from the day I started strict keto, 97.4 pounds. So I had a lot to lose. So 47 pounds the first year was on average less than a pound a week. And over the next 2 years was how long I spent losing the next 50. I'm a normal loser. That wasn't even slow. That was just normal. The fantastic stories of dramatic weight loss, we celebrate them, but they are the outliers. Jack Richard says, I have to say you look like the lady from 007. Are you talking about the fantastic Judi Dench? I would be so complimented if I looked like Judi Dench. I would be so complimented if I was as clever as Judi Dench. Again, Shell, I'm not going to hate on the vegans. It was a very religious thing with Dr. Kellogg and the Seventh-day Adventists. I'm still not going to hate on the vegans. Lee Jeffries writes, we do not need to buy all the keto crap and test. Just trust the process. Absolutely. When things seem weird or I feel strangely, I use my Keto Mojo. And if you go to my blog, on the sidebar, affiliate link alert, you get 15% off if you get the kit, and I get a little taste. But if something's not feeling right, I will test. And beta hydroxybutyrate, which is the blood measure, is still the gold standard for testing. But most days I don't test. I don't need to. I know my blood glucose is perfect. But I'm just curious if we've eaten at a restaurant and we'll say that didn't taste the way it did last time. Because, restaurants change things up. Products change their formulations. We don't eat out often, and we don't buy many prepared foods, but we do use some. So anyway, I'll use it. But you don't have to test. Go by the way you feel. Absolutely. Thank you, Lee. Vita writes new low today. Again, Vita's a patron. She shared this on Friday. 78 pounds down since she and I are keto twins. We started on the same day, January 8th, 5 years apart. Somebody pinch me. There's not one day I take for granted. Fantastic. And Vita's parents have started. Her parents. How old are your parents, Vita? And Shell writes, I don't hate vegans, Casey. I don't like them getting involved in government. I sit with a vegan every day at work. She's cool. We can all get along. Okay, guys. Colin Riley. I'm so happy to see you, also a patron. So happy to see you. Okay, Lisa Grigo asks, what do you think about MCT oil for energy? I've never used MCT oil. It's a medium chain triglyceride. That's what MCT stands for. Bodybuilders use that because they are like, 3% body fat and they still need energy because they're working really hard. So MCT oil, which cannot be stored as fat. And so it sounds ideal. That's great. It can't be stored. A medium chain fat can't be stored. It must be burned. Well, that just means it goes to the head of the class for being burned first. No, I still have body fat I need and want to burn. I still have adipose tissue. I am still, hence the crying jag I went on last night when I saw the photographs of myself. So no, I'm not going to drink MCT oil for energy or for fat loss. If I got any more energetic, my husband would kick me out of the house. I'm pretty energetic. Some days are slower than others, but that would be the same no matter what I did. No. Frankly, I feel like I'm on amphetamines half the time. And, but people need to do what's for them. And then if it stops working, tweak. Vita says, Dad is 71, Mom is 64. Dad is off almost all his diabetes meds. He was having TIA mini strokes in February, and his sugar was through the roof. Vita, girl, changing lives. I want to say this, and then I'm going to wrap up for reals. If you don't think the people around us notice, just realize that people around us notice. They may not say anything. They may not ask us a question. They may say, what's that Vita doing? I don't know. I'm not going to ask her because that's too embarrassing, or we're not supposed to talk about weight, or I don't want her to know that I want to lose weight, or whatever, or I don't want to hear the answer. But they may overhear Vita talking to somebody else saying, oh yeah, all we did was cut out carbs. And that person goes and checks things out. And that person's life has changed. And that person changes their kid's life, or their cousin's life, or their mother's life, or their coworker's life. Dr. Westman has always said this will be a grassroots movement. And it is. This is percolating from the ground up to medical providers. We'll get there. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. I do need to go tend to the chickens, and I've got a lot of yard debris to burn. For patrons who, I'm going to do this. Sorry. It's in the household, as if my husband does not think I deserve to be here. He's perfectly happy. As my patrons know, I like to burn things. I'm a bit of a pyro. Fortunately, we live in an old growth forest. So there's always limbs that have fallen through. Oh, and by the way, the storm, thinking about you guys in Florida, in coastal Georgia, in coastal South Carolina. I hope it doesn't make coastal North Carolina, but Hurricane Dorian. Fingers crossed. Don't be foolish. I saw a funny thing. A meme said, definition, namaste. Use it in a sentence. In Florida. You're gonna leave because of Hurricane Dorian? Nah, namaste here. That was a joke. Okay. That's okay. I don't care, Shell, about the vegan talk. It's okay. We're all friends. Okay, guys. Thank you. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day total, not net. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Eat fatty sources of protein. Stop when you're satisfied. If you want Dr. Westman certified page 4, print it and bring it to one. He's all over the country. He shows up everywhere. Go up and say, Casey said you'd sign this for me. He'll be so happy that I said that. Take it and get him to autograph it. He'll be so happy. Tell him I said to do it. And then say, Casey said you'd be so thrilled that she told X number of thousand people to print this up and have you sign it. Okay, guys. Thank you, Lee. I will see you the next time I see you. I don't do these every Saturday anymore. Life is busy, but I'll do them when I can. And thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your Saturday. Now, like I said, keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day total, not net. Eat fatty sources of protein. Do not eat if you're not hungry, no matter what the clock says. Stop when you're satisfied. Be kind to yourself. Be firm with yourself. Be honest with yourself. And if you want to become a patron at $10, you'll get a hand-signed postcard from me. Bye, guys.